Vashon, welcome back. You know what? I can say that I held off the book club meeting for you. So I'm going to be like, I held it off for you. So we're going to do a little book club at noon today. And maybe a Q&A today. We shall see. All right, everyone. Today is Monday. I know many of us thought we would be retired. We're not. So we're just going to have to, be adults about it. But it's a new day for new beginnings. And you can say it's going to be a great week. So today is going to be great. When I call your name, let me know you're here. If you do not answer, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. Jose Torres. Thank you. In custody, we have Roland Diaz, Henry Knight, Francisco Martinez. All right, thank you. State, he's ready for trial. Challenge has been answered. Janelle Garza. In custody, we have Mr. Gore. Didn't we finish with IG Gore?
Yeah, I didn't know I could think about it.
Yes.
I think he was originally set today.
All right, because I think that case is concluded. Layla Tanton, custody, Michael Mora. Thank you. Gabriel Bernal.
Please stand up.
Michael Mora is in custody. James Kennedy, custody. Christopher Acosta. Orlando Cuevas. Did I say that last name correctly? And he's not even here to hear it. He's in the back. Anthony Woodard. Gabriel Pruitt, custody. Lauren Carrillo. Thank you. Thank you. In custody, we have Aaron Alvarado, Crystal Barajas, Cameron Moore. Thank you. Sarah Elizabeth Gutierrez. Thank you. Brian Maldonado Arita. Thank you. Gloria Garcia. Zachary Garcia. Oh, are you two related? Okay. You guys are sitting next to each other. All right. Leonardo Carlos. Thank you. Victor Rodriguez. Victor Rodriguez. In custody, we have Rudy Gonzalez. Jose Carrion is in custody. How do you say that last name? Pantoja. Okay. Jeremy Garcia is in custody. Is there anyone whose name was not called? What's your name? Robert Garcia. What court are you supposed to be in? No, this is the 187. Just if you're late, which you are late, if they start at 9, just tell them you were here by mistake. Yes. All right, thank you. You can let them know you were here. If they have any questions, just tell them to call here. Judge Boyd. All right, anyone else? Yes. Genevieve Lopez. Oh, yes, just wait. We have you. Okay, anyone else? All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. And if you follow these rules, today will go perfectly. If you do not follow these rules, the day might not be so perfect for you. All right, in the left, that's the box for criminal trial division. Criminal trial division is sitting right here. Over here, we have family violence. That's their box. There is an uptick in COVID. I know people have not received their flu shots. If you believe in flu shots, some people haven't received those yet. There's an uptick in that. There's an uptick in leprosy coming from Florida. So I try to keep the courtroom as least congested as possible. So attorneys, if you will grab your file, place it on the prosecutor's desk and have a seat, they're going to call you in the order of appearance to confer with you. Do not approach the court if you have not conferred with the state and if you have not conferred with your client. If your client is in custody, yes, they do need to be brought out. And yes, you do need to confer with them. Do not approach the court coordinator asking for a reset or continuance. I'm the only person who can give that to you. Once you have conferred with the state and everyone and you want to approach, just ask the clerk to pull your file. The clerk will place your file here. I will call you in the order of appearance. The only exception is if someone needs an interpreter, because we have so few interpreters, and I try to get the interpreters out as quickly as possible. To my left is the court reporter. Donna, can you raise your hand? That is her office. She does not have any walls to her office, but her equipment is over $10,000. Do not lean on her desk. Do not lean on her equipment. Do not put your paperwork on her equipment. This is like Pottery Barn. If you destroy it or if you damage it, you will have bought it, and that's $10,000. To my right is the CLO. LaShawn, can you raise your hand? That is her office. It does not have walls. Do not put your paper on her desk. Do not sit on her desk. Do not lean on her desk. Do not turn your back to her, because if you turn your back to her and she's sitting, she's seeing something she does not want to see. If you violate any of these rules with regards to the court reporter or the CLO, what I will do is I will come to your office at an inopportune time. I will sit on your desk. I will put paperwork on your desk. So let's not do that. The deputies, let's try to make their job easy. Through that door, attorneys, you all know that's where inmates come from. The deputies are in charge with security. If something goes down and something happens and you're in their line of sight, or if you're in their way, oh, well, I will write an affidavit saying I told you all that they're in charge of security. Do not get in their way. If you request an inmate from the back, do not leave, because the deputies are in charge of security and they can only have so many inmates out here at one time. And if you leave this courtroom when you've requested an inmate and that inmate is brought out here and you're not here, you're being selfish, because that means another defense attorney who is here cannot have their inmate brought out. So it's Monday. Please confer with a smile on your face and kindness in your heart, and we will all have a great day. So everyone confer. Okay, sure. You're welcome. Yes. Oh, you can come around. Yeah. People always try to reach over. How's it doing, Mrs. Steinberg?
I submitted that.
Yes, we're.
Okay.
And the reason why it's all messed up on the record,
Oh, that's no problem.
and I need it clarified.
Okay.
You'll see in the exhibit that
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, you know. Yeah, put it by state.
I'm sorry.
Exhibit
Okay.
3, there's a transcript of the dedicated corpus hearing.
Mhm.
We don't generally.
Okay. So what are you asking for?
A correct order on the dedicated corpus.
Oh, okay. So who heard it?
It was never signed, and yet the case summary, if you get it out, says no contact with.
So who did you have a hearing with with this writ on?
Correct.
Okay. So if you'll take it, state on the case with Mr. Stenberg, please.
You can go down there and-
No, no problem. Because it's just that since he did it, then I'm looking over state. So he said that there was an order that wasn't signed when they did the writ. And so Judge Carruthers is the person who did the writ. So it's probably best for him to see it and sign it.
Can I just go down there?
Oh, yeah, sure. Since you have the record attached.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm saying since you do. And so he'll be able to read it and sign it. Okay. All right. Okay, sure. You're welcome.
That's yours. Okay.
Lawrence, have you?
He's here.
And Norma, can you let Judge Carruthers Court know that Mr. Stenberg is coming down there with an order?
Not Lawrence?
It is a case that they heard.
Zero.
All right, who is here? Lauren Carrillo. All right, if you come forward, please. And this is family violence.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the court has the acknowledgement of discovery. Where's your client?
She's sitting.
Oh, she needs to come forward.
Judge?
Oh, she needs to come forward.
Okay.
Lauren, have you-
Where would you like her, Judge?
Oh, she's in the middle.
Okay.
All right, so you've received all the discovery state. Did you tender an offer?
Your Honor, there has been an offer in the file. So I don't,
All right, defense,
Yes.
did you tender the offer to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Carrillo, have you had a chance to think about the offer, or do you need more time to think about the offer?
I've thought about the offer.
All right, so are you rejecting the offer?
I'm accepting the offer.
Wait,
Oh,
Judge, we wanted to set it for trial.
Well, I mean, your client is saying she's accepting the offer. Do y'all want to discuss that?
I'll discuss it again, but what she means is she understands she got the offer. She does not want to plead guilty at this time.
Well, no, she just told the court, and I don't think I was speaking in legal terms. She just told the court that she wants to accept the offer. Here's the thing, if people don't want to accept an offer, I'm fine with that. And if you want a jury trial, I'll give you a jury trial. But if you're rejecting an offer, there is no, I'm not accepting the offer at this time. That means that the only way the court will consider an offer after today is if there's good cause to do it. Otherwise, you have to plead open to the court. So I'll allow you to speak to your attorney, because what she's told me is that she wants to accept the offer. So I'll let you step back to speak to your attorney. And once that's done, you can come back.
First chair. Top one, second chair.
Oh, Deputy Laura, they say that the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is launching a Citizens Academy. And it's not really going to be police like the movie Police Academy, but everybody can come. So they said they're going to be teaching about community service, patrol tactics, traffic operations, crisis negotiation. And it's 13 weeks, and you'll get to have a tour of the Bexar County Jail and the Justice Center.
I mean,
My students always do. That's you know what, the highlight, they love going to well, not love, but they're interested in how the Bexar County Jail is run. They love going to the state jail facility, see what's going on. No. You know what they need to do? Whenever they're mopping the floors, they need to change out the water, because they don't. It's not good. No. Sewage coming down from the ceilings, rats and roaches. Well, I know about the roaches, and I know about the recluse spiders. I didn't know about the other thing.
One time I waited.
And you know what? No one ever wants to spend money over there. I guess people are waiting for someone to be sued.
well, my husband's like 6'3". She's tall. She's here on me already. would say you're 89 pounds. Yeah, my 5-year-old. It's pretty much right in the middle. She's like, 46 pounds.
I did. Thank you so much.
Oh, and Deputy Laura, did anybody ever come to pick up their Apple? You know, the iPad?
Still going.
Mhm. Ah, Charles is so nice.
He says if there's problems, an attorney's name on it or something.
Well, that's good. I hope they find out who it belongs to.
I had Mr. Kennedy, I found a look in the quash. The DA said she likes a little time. You wanna give us a study? I guess I can. Oh, he's in jail, I see it. Okay, I'm ready. I'm taking a block of space.
All right, James Michael Kennedy.
President Council, Your Honor.
Oh, come on down.
Yes, go this way.
All right, and your client is in the middle and you're on that side, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, how do you pronounce your last name?
Kennedy.
Kennedy. All right. All right, so where are we on this case?
I filed a motion to quash and talk to the state for a moment. She'd like a few days to get ready.
All right, I
Please.
haven't seen the motion. Could you pull the motion to quash on this case? It's 2023 CR 4168. And you have all the discovery?
I believe so, Your Honor, yes.
All right, state if you'll do an acknowledgement of discovery.
Okay.
Yes. And what is the concern on the indictment, counsel?
Lack of specificity about adequate nourishment and adequate proper care.
Okay,
Simply saying that's like
okay.
kind of amorphous.
All right. So if the court denies the motion, how long is this jury trial going to take?
Probably 3 days, huh?
It could be lengthy. There's gonna be a lot of expert witness testimony.
How many experts?
You.
Okay. So it'll probably be 1 day for jury selection, maybe 2 days for the jury trial. All right, Ms. Ferguson. When is the next day for family violence?
Tomorrow, if you want something further out, right?
They're up tomorrow?
Let's go further out, please.
Let me see. Well, no, I mean, I want to give you all your trial. He's in custody.
Just have. 7 cases tomorrow.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. We're going to have a hearing on this motion to quash. Let's do it next week. And then after that, your trial is going to be a quick turnaround. Do you understand?
I don't know what a quick turnaround means.
Oh, you're going to be trying this case in the month of October and at the latest November. That's what that means.
I understand.
So has an offer been tendered?
Yes.
All right, now are you rejecting that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right.
Judge.
So the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. If you decide to enter a plea, you'll have to enter a plea open to the court. You understand?
Yes, Judge.
What date for hearing on this, Norma? All right, we're going to come back on October 12th to have a hearing on your motion. All right, counsel said he'll be out of town. No. Let's keep it that week. When are you going to be out of town?
Tuesday, I'm gonna be here on Tuesday anyhow. The 10th, does that work?
All right. I mean, would you be able to-
At 9 a.m. because I think it's just going to be argument. So you all have to be here exactly at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, the 10th.
Very good, Judge. Leave excuse now.
Yes,
Go ahead and sit over there.
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. And counsel, I need you to sign the acknowledgement of discovery before you leave.
I promise, Judge.
All right.
Well, if it gets done.
Oh, they'll have it done. All right, just 1 second. I have your file. All right. Norma, here's. All right, Lauren Carrillo. All right, so with regards to the offer that's been tendered by the state, do you understand what the offer is?
Yes.
All right, so do you want to enter a plea or do you want a jury trial?
um, A jury trial.
All right, so here's the thing, and I'm going to explain it to you, and I hope your attorney, and I'm sure your attorney did explain it to you. That means that you're rejecting the state's offer, that you want to go to trial. When we come back for your jury trial date, the court is not going to consider any plea agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. So if the jury is in the hallway and suddenly everybody changes their minds and say they want to accept the state's offer, and that's, you just change your mind, the court is not going to accept that offer. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
on this case, if you're recalled for tomorrow for jury trial,
Tomorrow,
yes.
okay?
All
We're
right.
ready.
Sure. All right, thanks.
Yeah, and.
They'll give you a
I'd
reason.
like the announcement from the state police, Judge.
Oh, the state's announcement is going to be ready because this is set for tomorrow. That's what the court is saying.
Okay, tomorrow, what time?
What time do you want this back tomorrow, Norma?
They can be here at 9.
9? All right, she'll give you a reset form, then you're excused.
We'll be here at
Thank you.
9.
All right, thank you.
Say,
Yes.
All right, who's here on Michael Mora?
yes.
Mr. Moore, where is he?
He's over here.
All right, come on down, Mr. Moore. Suzanne, it's always great seeing you. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Judge. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I cannot complain. All right, so he was here and there was a federal warrant. So where are we on these cases?
Judge, at the last setting, Judge Harrell was here.
Mhm.
And I believe Jason can verify this, but my memory was that the feds are not gonna pick him up. That is in fact not why he got taken into custody.
Ah,
He was here. He went to his misdemeanor court first, but he was here. Mark Garcia from Cowboy came in after I had left and asked the judge to increase the bond because he says he didn't report one time to his bondsman. So that's why he got taken into
all right.
custody.
Well, Mr. Mara, that contract is between you and the bondsman and the court has nothing to do with that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So on these cases, counsel, have you received all of the discovery?
I have.
All right. State, did you tender an offer?
We did, Judge.
All right. So Mr. Mora, do you need time to consider the state's offer? All right. How old are you?
37.
All right. Ms. Ferguson. On this case, if you can bring it back on Thursday, please. All right. That will be your plea deadline date for you to consider the state's offer. Okay. Is there anything you need from the court or anything you do not understand?
Oh, man.
I mean, I know that he's very frustrated, Judge, and I think he would like for me to let you know, just because you'll remember that when we were last year and he was still on bond,
Mhm.
but we were not knowing what the feds were going to do. You had offered him some suggestions of different classes he could take. He in fact did start taking those classes. He enrolled in them and now he's stuck in jail. And so he's quite frustrated about that. I think that I don't know if he's going to reject the plea bargain or not yet, but I know that he was wanting to get out again and restart his classes. What I don't know, you might know, I guess I can ask, is whether or not what the bond got increased to. I don't know. I mean,
All
I
right,
could go
the
ask
clerks will
clerk.
be able to tell you what it will be increased to. But Mr. Moore, what I can tell you is that there are bad things that happen to everybody, right? And sometimes it turns out that bad things that are happen in retrospect, maybe are not so bad. And I don't take lightly that you are at the Bexar County Jail, but I do see that your last violation report was because you were using meth, right? So hopefully at the Bexar County Jail, you're not able to get any meth and you're able to clear your mind, clear your body and get on the right track. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I will tell you, and the state knows and your counsel knows, plea agreements that are entered into, the court always keeps an open mind on everything and considers everything and what I do with sentencing. Okay. All right. So we'll bring you back on Thursday.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right.
You may be
Thank you.
excused.
Yes. Oh, and counsel, before you leave, if state and counsel, if I could get acknowledgements of discovery.
Have we not done that yet?
No, there's none in the file.
Okay, thought maybe by now we would have done that.
No.
Okay,
All right. And I'll see you all back on Thursday.
thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Norma, he's going to be back on Thursday. And that will be the plea deadline date.
I mean, the search term is on so much. I thought so that was supposed to be one of those things that probation service.
Hello.
But I just wanted to get that.
Were you able to see Judge Carruthers? All right, thank you.
Thank you. And you said we go to Judge White, huh? Where? Okay, all right. And then pick a motion.
All right. So that's for that file. Thank you.
Probably. Like Urban Dictionary.
Hey, Judge.
Hello.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh, it's a sad, sad day.
Because LSU lost.
LSU lost, New Orleans Saints lost,
A terrible thing.
LSU. And I always tell people to remember that these are children. They just came from high school, but LSU's loss is not their fault. That's the coaching. I'm like, where's your defense, LSU? Thank you, Notre Dame coach. Is this an inside job? Is it a sabotage? I'm just like, really?
I
Really?
don't think it's sabotage, yeah.
You say no to sabotage?
I think Brian Kelly wasn't able to get it over the goal line at Notre Dame. That's why he's not there anymore, and he might be doing the same thing here.
I'm just, it's like Lane Kiffin. Everybody appears to want him to have employment.
Yeah. Yeah.
but we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, Tyrone, Jack Woodard. But this too shall pass. Now we can all, John, the only thing that's left for us to do now is to destroy everybody else's hopes and dreams.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so has an offer been tendered?
Yes, Your Honor, an offer has been. Yes, sir.
Okay,
And we did a discovery acknowledgement last time.
yes. All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, can I have a 3-week reset for plea deadline date? And after that, if you choose not to accept the plea, you'll be going to jury trial. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
You can come back on the 30th.
All right, we'll be back on October 30th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form, then you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just since it's my first time with a trial case in your court, just for my edification, when we, if he rejects the offer on the 30th, when would I need to order my officers for?
Oh, you'll get a trial date on the
A
30th.
different trial.
Yes.
Okay.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Judge.
Sure.
Have a good morning.
You too.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Oh, and Florida lost too, so give Cornelius a shoulder to cry on. Yeah,
I'll go meet him in his office right here.
yeah, just go meet him in his
Is
office.
that what I heard? The tears? I heard someone crying and sniffling. It was,
It's the Florida Gator tears.
the problem is when LSU loses on the same weekend as Florida, I think he's still somehow happy.
You know, he's still devastated because before he was saying he couldn't sleep because he was so anxious because the team was going to be so great. And now we're all disappointed.
Thank you.
It's not like the person's been over there banging on the floor. So, I mean.
Is he amenable to playing?
Yeah, that's what I would just think. Maybe do what, you know, go proceed with whatever they're offering on characters. And I would agree, on our 701 cases, maybe, just be on the, just, yes.
So I think one of the concepts, it's very Martin Rand, I think he is out of the trade right now, but I guess kind of.
Well, I will say they did give me, yes. So I think everything was done. They didn't mail it. I mean, they didn't email it. They just were handing it to me. Okay.
And it was something like, when I think about her, and you should provide it to law enforcement, because I think it should be in there. So Mario was trying to get some more information about the protective order. I guess he didn't know. So we're trying to see the like document, whatever. Yeah. Working, all that. So that's what I'm we're outside.
I love my little USB. I was very much.
Thank you very much. Sorry about your. Tigers.
Well, you know,
My wife went to LSU.
it happens, you know,
I don't.
what are you gonna do?
And you know, it was at home, right? Wasn't it? Or no, it was in Mississippi. Was it in Mississippi or?
No, we were at home.
In Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son-in-law was on a dove hunt with 12 LSU alums. He said, and my son is with TCU and they lost. He said it was kind of a bummer night,
Oh, my gosh.
Saturday night, yeah. So.
Well, did they have any?
Well, they want to fire the coach, you know, they all.
What did they have any birds? See, and then you have that too. No birds and both teams lost.
Yeah, no, it's you know, I've never been to a game and you know, when I first married my wife, I said, we gotta go to an LSU game. And she just wasn't much of a, you know.
Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of crowds
Yeah,
and a big fan of wading through
Yeah.
parking lots. So
that's what you do there.
yes, I only, for each team that I love
Yeah.
and like to watch play, but I love all sports, so I really like all teams, but I only do it once.
Yeah.
And then I can say, okay, I did that. It's better to watch it on TV.
Yeah.
And I can pause, you know, go back for wings or something.
Some more
Yeah.
chips.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, sure.
Jeremy Ray Garcia, going to say looking to withdraw.
All right, Sarah Elizabeth Gutierrez. Come forward. All right, I see on August 31st, the bond forfeiture was issued. You're on this side, counsel.
Oh, sorry, Your Honor.
Has that been recalled?
No, I'm just here, because Mario's out,
So my attorney is Leo Gonzalez and he's not present.
and I'm standing up for him.
So you're with Joseph Dunn and Law.
I'm with Donovan Johnson.
Okay, I was making sure I was being represented.
Yeah, for sure.
So your name again is?
My name's Cole Nellis. Cole Nellis.
Coronamos.
There you go.
Cole Nettles.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I've never met you, so I'm
Oh,
standing
okay.
with you. Nice to meet you. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I didn't know who he was.
No, I'm glad you all were able to meet each other. So does she have a warrant? Thank you.
Your Honor, may I have,
Please don't say anything to the board, just let them check, please.
I mean,
Yes.
I just wanted to make a statement.
And this is not the time or the place. Please don't make any statements to the board.
Okay,
It's Monday. Has Mahia watched Ken Porsche?
That's why
So I'm just gonna let the judge know that.
Yeah.
and give you a new-
Let me just tell you, if he ends up watching that, I think we're gonna have thunderstorms.
it's gonna happen. If he will be willing to drop charges, considering.
All right, so August 31st, what happened on that day?
Place 1 month prior to my text messaging him, which was only a text message of reconciliation.
And so for today.
All right, so Ms. Gutierrez,
She didn't look, but it was recalled with the machine. It's that
okay, so Ms. Gutierrez, your conversation with your attorneys, who your attorney is, or y'all want to have a meeting, that needs to take place not in front of the bench. Do you understand?
So how was I able to talk to him though? 'Cause he was
You
up
you
here.
guys need to do that on your own time.
So he
Yes,
didn't
sir.
notify us. I do apologize. I didn't know he was present, my attorney.
All right, you all want to step back and talk to her?
Yes, Your Honor. Let's put a hold.
All right, Jeremy Ray Garcia.
And Your Honor, that one is also me, but I would not.
Oh, no, I'll let you all just do your discussions. Deputy Lord, it's still gonna be a beautiful day.
Oh, here he is, Judge.
Deputy Mejia, what have you not seen? All right, see, I'm gonna start getting you to say the name. You know, we're just gonna sit him down and force him to watch it. Have you watched Vincenzo? All right, so you watch what? All right, so the first thing you're gonna watch is Vincenzo. Deputy Laura, we're gonna make him watch Vincenzo. Then once he watches that, he's gonna say, bring on the next one. You don't know who Vincenzo is? Okay, he's saying he knows. I won't phone him as a friend, though. You know, if I'm on a game show, I'll phone you. Just in case I forget who Vincenzo is. Diana, Adriana,
Yeah.
could you mute us for a moment, please? All right, Sarah Gutierrez. All right, who's the state on Sarah Gutierrez's assault? Yes. Has an offer been tendered in this case?
Judge, I know that she has another pending case for family violence, is that correct?
That's
Is that
correct.
So there's an unindicted, so we haven't made an offer on this one yet.
All right, what is the unindicted family violence case?
It's a continuous violation of a protective order.
All right. State, have you all given them discovery on the continuous?
I don't believe so. It's, I think it's a, is it still sealed?
I just gave them a copy of the. It may be sealed, but once they get on it, they should do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, are you all going to be the attorneys on the protective order?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So which case is going to take the driver's seat in this?
Well, at this point, our case is not indicted, Your Honor. And he does, I believe she has a pending BPO and misdemeanor court, so we are at this time trying to. I'm what he's. So at this point, I can't tell the court exactly, one, if the case is gonna get indicted, and two, what the status is,
Okay,
but.
all right, we're going to recall this case in 2 weeks. At that time, an offer needs to be tendered. And counsel, you can look at the discovery for the protective order. Ms. Ferguson, I needed to reset. All right, we're going to come back on October 23rd.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, you're welcome. After you sign the reset form, you're excused. Jeremy Ray Garcia. Where's Jeremy Ray Garcia?
He is in custody, Your Honor.
All right, you'll have to ask for him to be brought out.
Okay.
All right. Jeremy Ray Garcia,
Yes.
if you'll come forward. All right. Mr. Garcia, are you aware that this law firm wants to withdraw from your case?
No,
All right, counsel, have you discussed this withdrawal with him?
I have not, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll discuss it with him, then come forward. Sure.
I guess So y'all have an offer here. Here. You- is it, 6 to 2. Yeah, in August, so 6 to 2.
Okay.
Sounds about right. What? I'm just thinking. Sold the building out. He's a nice fellow. He's not a boy. I'm not a boy. I don't think the girls. Yeah, it's a count.
All right, are you all ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Jeremy Ray Garcia. And this is Criminal Trial Division. Have you had a chance to confer with your counsel on this?
For the withdrawal, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
For the withdrawal, yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 7562, State of Texas versus Jeremy Ray Garcia. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Full
Defense?
medals.
And are you Mr. Jeremy Ray Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Garcia, your attorneys have filed a motion to withdraw. They are stating that there are some issues with your contract that you're not abiding by. So
Yes,
they
ma'am.
want to withdraw. Do you have any objection to the withdrawal?
No, ma'am.
All right, state any objections to the withdrawal?
No, ma'am.
All right, then the motion will be granted. Counsel, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Mr. Garcia,
Yes, ma'am.
are you going to be able to afford an attorney or do you need one appointed?
I was aware that my court appointed for my other charges was appointed to. I got a paper.
Well, nobody's been appointed to it yet because this motion to withdraw was pending. So if you'll have a seat, let me check on the system. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Does he have any other pending charges? All right, can you mute us? Please? John Cooks. All right. Layla Tanton. Who's the attorney for Layla Tanton?
So, Mr. Vice Judge, I think he just stepped out.
He had to file to the clerk and then step out.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I didn't even want to introduce that.
Normally you could call him. The attorney on Layla Ray Ann Tanton. And Rashawn, can you check, is felony drug court field? It's Charles May. All right, Mr. May.
Yes, ma'am.
No problem. And Ms. Tanton, please thank you. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 3464. State of Texas versus Layla Ray Ann Tanton. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state.
defense?
Charles May for the defense, Your Honor, ready.
Are you Ms. Tanton? Counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Chapman, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're waiving count 1 and proceeding on count 2, Judge.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Ms. Tanton, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a second degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor. She has.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Tanton, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No,
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
no, ma'am.
Satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 2 and they're recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
None, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargaining agreement. The state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and an evaluation for felony drug court. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, state, you may continue to confer. Ms. Tanton, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding you guilty as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we would just ask that the court proceed with the deferred adjudication. My client is deeply remorseful of what she's done, her actions, Judge, and she would ask this court to follow the agreement that has been in place, Your Honor.
All right, how old are you?
I'm 21.
21.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
I have a daughter.
How old?
She'll be 4 November 6th.
And where is she?
She's with my mother in Houston.
Is Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am, I have full custody, no CPS cases.
Well, did you give up your rights to your mom?
No, I did temporary guardianship. My daughter has.
I'm sorry, could you?
I said, I gave temporary guardianship. My daughter.
All right,
has-
everyone, please whisper.
My
yes.
daughter has juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, so she gets the best medical care over in Houston. My mom works at the hospital, so.
How far did you go in school?
I went all the way into the
my junior year, and I did cosmetology school and completed all my hours.
Okay. So when's the last time you had employment?
I worked at Golden Chick. I would say it was March. It was March through April.
And what does your mom do at the hospital?
My mom is head coordinator of San Jack Methodist.
And do you have any other siblings?
Yes, I have a brother and a sister. A
All
younger
right.
brother
And
too.
what does your brother and sister do?
My brother is a barber. He's in barber school, and my sister is going to be graduating high school in about a year and a half.
All right. And who is this Michael Martin to you?
It's my ex-fiance.
What is that ex-fiance since this happened? Before you were arrested, how often were you doing meth?
I wasn't. One.
Okay, I find that hard to believe. I don't think you're just doing marijuana. I think there's more to it. And let me just tell you why I say that. I say that because I've read the police report. So I think it's more than marijuana. And I'm going to tell you something right now. One, I'm inclined to go along with this deferred adjudication. If you tell me you don't have a meth problem, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you out into the world. I'm going to make a notation that you said you didn't have a meth problem. And you know what's going to end up happening? If you go out into that world and you're going to be drug tested, and when you're drug tested, you test positive for meth, I'm not going to want to hear that, oh, I have a meth problem, because I'm asking you right now to be honest with me so I can set conditions so that perhaps you can get your life together. Perhaps you can be in your daughter's life, because right now, the only thing you're doing is hanging around with a fiance who has parole violations. Did you know he had a criminal past?
I did, ma'am.
And you still thought, let me get with this guy who has a criminal past. I have a 4-year-old daughter who has medical needs, but eventually, because this guy is my fiance, this is the guy who I think would be great to be in her life. A person who's only doing marijuana doesn't believe that. Someone who's doing meth and other things believes that, because you're just trying to get your next fix. And if Michael Martin has parole and has been to, which if he's on parole, that means that he's been to prison. And if you think somebody who's been to prison with the charges that they have in this police report that he's on parole for, if you think that's a good person to be in your daughter's life, that tells me you're doing more than marijuana. So this is the last time I'm going to ask you, and we can pretend like this is the first time I'm asking you, if that will help you be honest with the court. How often are you using meth?
I stopped using meth. I did that for my daughter and because I was going to lose my family.
So when did you start using meth?
Started whenever I got with my fiance.
So why are you before the court pretending like you don't do meth and you've never done meth?
I'm not pretending like I haven't done it. I just.
Now you're playing semantics with me, and I don't appreciate that, because I clearly asked you how often you were using meth. I know you're not using meth today because you're in court, and the deputies would not have brought you over with the items to do meth in the box. I asked you how often were you using meth, and you said, I don't use meth. I haven't used meth. That's what you said. And you're playing games with me, and I don't appreciate that. I already knew you used meth because that's in the police report. Nobody is driving around with this much meth in the car unless you're using it or unless you're selling it. And obviously there was an issue with you, because I don't know why people are driving around San Antonio smoking a blunt in the car and you think the police are not going to pull you over. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing.
This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication. We're going to do a TAP evaluation in custody. Follow all recommendations of TAP. If they recommend inpatient treatment, she's going to inpatient treatment. Is felony drug court full?
Your Honor, they are top evaluations. They will be accepting clients, however, they don't have funding yet, so the clients will be limited.
All right, we'll do a referral to felony drug court. If felony drug court accepts her, she can go there. There's going to be 120 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want her in intensive parenting classes. Once she completes that, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no contact with Michael Martin. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors, and that includes her own child. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. No, I'm sorry, not regular UAs. We're going to do the UA hotline. When you're released, where are you going to be staying? Who are you going to be staying with? Do you have a place to stay?
I have my own house, Your Honor.
All right. There's going to be field visits one time per month until further notice. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And she either needs to get her GED or complete some type of trade so you can get employment and get employment where you can take care of yourself and take care of your daughter. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So she needs some sort of trade school or either GED. And what I can tell you, because you have this charge, anything, any occupation that requires a license, you need to let them know about this, because for some, they're not going to give you a certificate or anything because you have this felony. Do you understand? So before you waste money, ask them if that's going to be a problem. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Right. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful on this deferred adjudication?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, State, with regards to this case, there were weapons. One weapon, I think, is stolen. So is there any destruction of the weapon?
I believe those were the co-defendant. The co-defendant was charged with that, judge, but look, I can confirm.
All right, thank you. So if those are your weapons, they're going to be destroyed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. What is this tattoo on your neck about?
Dollar sign.
Why do you have a dollar sign on your neck?
I do my own tattoos. Just practice.
But no, why would you put a dollar sign? It has to mean something.
Everybody likes money.
All right, and Vashawn, I forgot on her, we're going to need a MIC evaluation and also also a gang evaluation. What is up with the weapon on your tattooed on your arm?
Did it myself.
And the snake?
I didn't do this.
All right, what is that about?
My cousin passed away in a car accident that we were both in, and her last name was Rose, so I did those.
All right, and what is the other name underneath your arm?
I'm my daughter.
Okay. All right, yes.
Judge, she did have a UCW handgun from the same incident date in County Court 9. She got a JSAT on that, but I can email those prosecutors to
Destroy the weapon.
Yes.
All right. Now, let me just tell you, your 4-year-old daughter, she can't go out into the world and make her own choices, right? That's why she's living with your mom. She doesn't have employment. She can't take care of herself. And usually children don't make great decisions, especially at that age, because they want what they want. If you give them candy, guess what? They want candy all the time, right? So your 4-year-old is depending on you to make good decisions, your mom to make good decisions, and you're not. I don't know what you were thinking that you would think it would be okay to bring a fiance in your daughter's life who's been to prison, obviously is not rehabilitated because you all are driving around smoking blunts in a car and he has a parole warrant. You need to either make a decision that you're going to be a good influence and a good parent to your 4-year-old, or either 100% get out of her life. Do you understand? Yes.
Governor, I just want to confirm if she resides here in Bear County or.
Oh, she's going to be here in Bear County. She will not be in Houston. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Henry Knight. Why do I keep getting this sticker that you refuse in an interview? Did you refuse? No, come up here. We're not playing games. Come forward. Miss Ferguson, are you saying he refused the interview?
Oh, no.
All right, it's an old sticker. I was just going to say, all right, because I knew Miss Garza had been appointed to represent you. See, communication is key. They put this sticker on here. Defendant refused interview. I'm like,
See, that could have turned ugly real quick.
it could have, but I always communicate, so I want to know what's going on. We don't let things turn ugly in this court.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are you all ready to proceed on the motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Knight was scared for a minute. He's like, what? That's not me. All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 8435, State of Texas versus Henry Knight Jr. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Gitterhand, Your Honor.
Defense?
For defense.
And are you Mr. Knight?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Henry Knight Jr. who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 8435 for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on February 21st, 2023 for a period of 8 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 6, on or about the 4th day of May, 2023 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Henry Knight Jr., departed Bear County without the written permission of the court and or the supervision officer in violation of condition number 6.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violations.
Any objection?
No objections.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 6, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 6?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 6 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor.
What are you requesting?
Adjudicate guilt, revoke the defendant officer's probation and sentence him to 2 years in the Texas Department of Corrections.
All right, counsel, is that the agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just give me one moment. Here it is. All right, probation. On this case with Mr. Knight, was there any restitution to Marvin Trimble? Okay. All right, thank you. Then the court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's to be no contact with Marvin Trimble, Trimble. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you, Mr. Knight?
Just turned 30.
All right, so you just turned 30 years old. You're going to prison for 2 years. Think about your life and think about where you want to be. if you continue on this path, you're going to wake up and you're going to find that you spent a majority of your life either in somebody's jail or at somebody's prison. I don't think anybody wakes up when they're in elementary school and say, you know, when I grow up, I want to spend the rest of my life in prison, or I want to go to prison, or I want to go to somebody's jail. So you need to find that little boy who wanted to do something with his life, and you need to start doing that. Do you understand? All right. Good luck to you. Thank you, Ms. Garza. All right. Is Mr. DeLeon coming back? Anyone else who is ready? Oh, there's Mr. DeLeon. All right. Thank you. And Adriana, thank you for the water and the ice. Brian Maldonado Arita. Hi. Good morning. How are you all doing today? Hi, it's always great to see you. How have you been doing?
Doing well, thank you very much.
You leave criminal law, then you come back.
I can't leave it.
I know, right? It's just the passion of it all.
It's the most fun.
It is. All right. So we have an interpreter here. And is your client a citizen?
He is not, Your Honor.
And I'm assuming you'll be handling that as well.
That is correct.
All right. Do you have all the discovery?
I believe so.
We haven't done a discovery acknowledgement yet, Judge. What we'd like to do is get a reset. Hank Wilkins from the state.
Oh, we're not on the record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble with Diana.
No.
We'd like to get a reset for defense counsel to give you the information about the defendant's immigration status
Okay.
and potential consequences of a felony, Judge.
All right. And can you tell me how long is this going to take? Don't say 45 days.
60.
Oh, no.
The issue is that I have a trial coming up, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Two back-to-back in. Hayes
Don't say
County, San
misdemeanor
Marcos.
court.
No.
Okay.
They're serious felonies.
All right. All right. So on this case, because I see this case has been on the court's docket since August, Ms. Ferguson, give them a 45-day reset, and that will be the final date for any immigration purposes. And on this date, when you come back, state you need to be prepared to tender an offer.
Yes, ma'am. We have tendered an offer. It might be impacted by whatever the immigration.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to say, be prepared to tender an offer, whatever counter offers on that date. And then it's going to be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date and then maybe trial.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right, November 14th. All right, see you all then.
Judge, I'm sorry. My trial in Hayes County begins on November 13th. It's a jury trial.
All right, Normie, can you set it the week of November 6th?
Yes, I can do November 9th.
November 9th.
Time works.
All right. And if you will sign the reset form, then you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, all right, thank you. Where's our law student? Hi, come on up. Yes, thank you. Don't be shy. When we have students come in, I always tell them, do not be shy. Hi, what's your name? Carol. All right, everyone, this is Carol. She's a law student. So we're going to make her think that this is the best profession ever, and it is. So, yeah. So feel free to walk around and talk with the prosecutors, the defense attorneys, and just ask them what they do. So you can decide, do I want to do criminal law? Do I want to do civil law? That type of thing. All right, welcome.
So much. I'm so excited.
Oh, sure. You're welcome. So you guys talk to her because law students are shy. Oh, come sit on the front row over here. Yeah. And just talk to people, bring her out of her shell. So if you're sitting next to her, say hello, introduce her yourself, tell her what you do. Because I always tell law students and mentees, you got to get out of your shell because nobody will talk to you. But I'm going to make them talk to you today. So, November 9th. All right, who's here on Jeremy Ray Garcia?
I am Judge. You just appointed me.
Yes, Mr. Garcia, if you can come down, please. And counsel, I'm sure you need more time.
I do. I've been conferring with Hank and there is mention of a video from
Oh,
a
you-
survey. Sorry. There's mention of a video from inside the store
Okay,
and he doesn't have it in his discovery, it doesn't look like. So we're going to try to work on that. I would request just a short reset, Judge, maybe a week or two. So
all right. When you say a week or two, how much?
two.
All right, 2
just in
weeks.
case.
All
If I get
right,
it sooner, I'll come back to court and have it brought over.
all right. So Mr. Garcia, your attorney is asking for a 2-week reset. I'm going to give him a 2-week reset so that he can perhaps find discovery and we'll see where it is. If he wants to come back sooner than that, he can just let the court know and you'll be brought over sooner. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset on Jeremy Ray Garcia? All right, so we'll be back on October 23rd.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank
If
you.
if I get an answer sooner, I'll get him brought back over.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
Mr. Koontz,
Yes, ma'am.
is there a possibility that he's going to bond out or no?
Are you gonna bond out on these cases, Riley?
Norma, can you give him a reset form for the 23rd, please? And they're telling me that I guess the bondsman got off his bond for some reason.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Mr. Koontz.
Thank you, Judge. I have one more I'm working on.
All right. Who is here on Jose Angel Torres?
I am, Your Honor.
Yes. Mr. Torres, if you'll come forward. No, this is family violence. All right, so this is a case where Mr. Torres entered a plea to count 2 and count 3. He entered that plea on April 3rd. Then we came back because defense filed a motion to withdraw the plea. And then the defense said he believed his client wasn't competent. So the court had informed the defense that they needed to file a competency motion. That was filed. And now they're scheduled for a competency jury trial in Judge Carruthers' court. So I'm assuming the doctor found him competent. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, he did.
But they're asking for a competency jury trial. And I'm showing that that's scheduled for November 9th. Is that correct, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson, on this case, usually competency trials in Judge Carruthers Court, it only takes a day. So, Ms. Ferguson, we're going to set this for November 10th. I'm sorry, not November 10th. November 10th, because we'll probably be in jury trial anyway. So we're going to set this for November 10th at 9 a.m. And at that time, the court will make a ruling on your client's request to withdraw his plea.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You'll get a reset form, then you're excused
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused, Your Honor?
after you sign the reset form.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Yes. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We won't be able to do felony. Okay. Okay. That's okay. She resides where she's residing. Okay, thank you. Leonardo Carlos. Who's here for Leonardo Carlos? All right, they are not here. Leonardo Carlos. All right. So I'm assuming his previous active warrant has been taken care of?
Yes, Judge.
All right. And your tie is now pocketed where?
It is this morning, Judge. And once I realized my neck is that wrong, I should have called.
Ah, that's bad. All right. So what is happening on this case?
Judge, the state has tendered an offer to Mr. Carlos this morning. This is our first appearance. Mr. Carlos does have some other cases. He also has another attorney. We would like to have an opportunity to discuss it.
All right. Is this attorney misdemeanor or what?
Felony and misdemeanor. Mr. Carlos is a pending DWI. Is it third?
All right. And that's misdemeanor court.
Third offense.
Oh, so where is that?
That's it hasn't been, I think it's pre-indictment.
Yeah, so
It may be in the report. But Mr. Carlos has retained George Sharman.
All right. Criminal Trial Division on Leonardo Carlos. He has this case, plus he has a pending DWI third. All right. So just so you know, the ranges of punishment are the same. So there's nothing driving the bus here. So this attorney has his hands on the steering wheel in a different car, and your other attorney has their hands on a steering wheel in a different car. So the train is not going to stop moving on this case because we're waiting for something else in the DWI. Do you understand? So state has tendered an offer. Ms. Ferguson, on this case, set it for a plea deadline date in 3 weeks, please. All right, your plea deadline date is going to be October 30th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting this plea. Do you understand? All right, once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge. And one other thing, pending any objection by the state or any question by the court, Mr. Carlos is indigent. He has GPS as a condition of bond. He has requested I approach and ask the court to waive his GPS fees.
Oh, I'll ask that fees are waived or deferred. If you'll pull the, get you.
I had coffee this morning. Judge. Not enough.
Sure. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ryan.
Victor Romero Rodriguez. Thank you. Just have a seat. Your attorney will be here shortly. Norma, is Mr. Meadows going to be here or no? Oh, okay. And where is Frank Sandoval? Okay. And Elizabeth Russell, and we need Alfonso Otero. All right, and John Kuntz is still here on Christopher Acosta. Does he know about that case? Okay, thank you. And Chomley is on Cuevas. All right, thank you. Robert Guyona. All right, and Patrick Lamas or Yamas. All right, and then Lorraine Efron, Judith Wimmert, David Garcia. All right, thank you. All right, and if everyone will give me a 5-minute break, I'll be right back. All right, Rudy Gutierrez Gonzalez. Hello.
Judge, this is the case that I was just appointed to.
Yes. All right, so, and I do realize you were recently appointed. So where are we on this case?
Judge State's made an offer.
Okay. And are there any outstanding cases? Just this?
My understanding is just this, Judge.
Okay.
I think, to my understanding as well, it's just this case here,
There's what?
just this case here,
Okay. Are there other cases?
not to my knowledge.
Okay. Oh, I'm just asking. I have no inside information.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
I'm always wondering. All right. So I'm going to give you a plea deadline date. Because this is a state jail felony, it's going to be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date. Ms. Ferguson,
Yes, ma'am.
can you recall this in 2 weeks?
And Judge, I was mistaken. I just did see there was an at-large case that has been filed, but it was going to be taken into consideration as part of this plea deal.
All right.
Or plea offer.
All right. Ms. Ferguson. Actually, can you recall this next week for the plea deadline date, please? All right, October 12th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the plea that's been offered. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll bring you back on October 12th.
Thank you, Judge.
Is he going to be bonding out?
I'll try to, if I can get a bond reduction. I can.
Oh, you'll have to have a hearing on that. Norma, if you can write him a reset form for October 12th. All right, thank you.
All right.
Check the jams.
Two ones.
Gloria Garcia. Thank you.
You need my client up.
Yes. All right, so where are we on this case?
I am asking for a little bit more time to go over discovery with my client and also to confer with the co-defendant's attorney that we can make some decisions and see about what we can negotiate. If anything.
All right, who is the co-defendant's attorney?
Judy Weimer.
Okay. All right, state, has an offer been tendered?
No, an offer has not been, that she still wants to go over some of the information with her client.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this case, give me a 30-day reset and state on that day you need to be prepared to tender an offer. Okay.
We'll get it.
All right, we'll come back on November 6th.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Norma. Can I see the file on Zachary Garcia? Zachary Garcia? If you'll come forward, please. All right, we're going to bring you back on November 6th. At that time, the state is going to tender an offer. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Ferguson, give him a reset form for November 6th. All right, thank you. Oh, this one's done.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Sure. Hi.
Sorry about the body Bengals.
No problem. You can't approach me and then say that and then smile when you're saying it.
Oh, Oklahoma tie on the.
Yeah. Yes.
We're just going to play Barajas on his case. They're going to dismiss mine.
Okay.
So I just needed to know if I can leave.
Sure.
If there's a
Yes.
problem.
working closely.
Okay. All right. Yes,
Judge.
you're welcome. Gabriel Bernal.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. Oh, you're on this side, counsel.
This side.
All right.
This is your.
Did you?
All right, it's,
I did with Judge Finley. I think you would run that simply.
Okay, sure, yes.
all right. So where are we in this case? Have you received all the discovery?
Yes, Judge.
Has an offer been tendered?
It has, Judge.
Ms. Ferguson, can you recall this back next week for a plea deadline date?
Oh, Judge, we have a motion suppressing file. It's gonna be dispositive. We had a date for that. That'll be the end of it.
All right. State, have you reviewed the motion
I'm not, Judge.
to suppress?
No, we haven't yet, Judge.
All right, so I'm assuming then you all are not aware that he has filed a motion to suppress.
I just spoke to him as I was walking on, Judge.
All right, so if you all want to step back, and I will tell you, the state here is reasonable. If they review the motion to suppress and they think it's a suppressible issue, then there will be no need for a motion to suppress. If they think it's not a suppressible issue, then we'll need to call it back for that date. So if you'll give them a chance to review that, then come back.
Okay.
All right.
Right now.
Oh, they're gonna review it today?
Today. Okay.
Yes, right now.
Just stay here.
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
sure. And if you'll let them know what your issue is.
Yes.
Okay. All right, just have a seat.
So you think so?
Okay, so you think somebody that's my life?
Whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, all right, thanks.
Christopher Acosta. All right.
Good morning again, Judge.
Good morning. So I have the discovery acknowledgement. An offer has been tendered.
It has, Judge. We're not quite where we would like the state to be. My client has been having seizures.
Okay.
And is going to see a neurologist. He just had a seizure, what was it, last week? Yes. Again, and so we're trying to get some medical records about that sort of stuff and figure out most importantly, how they can treat him, because it's just kind of a recent onset. So we're trying to figure that stuff out.
All right. When is your doctor's appointment?
I have a neurologist on Thursday.
All right. So Norma, on Christopher Acosta, if you'll put this towards the end of the month for a plea deadline date.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
Sure. All right. October 30th, Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a seat, please. Look, you had that already done.
All right. Jose Carrion Pantoja. Is he in custody?
Yes.
All right, Deputy Laura, can you let him know his attorney is out of the state and that we'll recall him for next week? What date, Ms. Ferguson?
Next week, I can do it.
All right, so let him know he'll be back on October 10th.
Yes. Okay, so people want to do. Yeah, that one was sworn in. I know.
Gabriel Bernal. Gabriel Kane Bernal. Have you all conferred or no?
We're talking. Judge.
Oh, just have a seat. Just approach when you all are ready, counsel. Oh. Oh. That is so beautiful. No, it's not. My birthday is not until November 2nd. Yeah, I'm like, awesome. You know, I tell people November 2nd is the Day of the Dead. So I guess I walk in the land of the living and the land of the dead. Oh, that is so nice. Look, Monday is so beautiful, right? And we're having our book club today. And it's Daniel's birthday. Well, I mean, I believe in celebrating the entire month. Yes. So he's now 21. I don't know. 31. You know, when you're 29 and you tell people you're 29, nobody ever believes it. They're like, oh, you're just putting off 30. I've stopped counting. Vashawn, I determine my birthday by what season it is. Since I'm in the twilight of my life, I'm in the winter months. Are we going to have any cold weather this year? You don't think so? You think it's going to be 90 degrees always? Well, then, it wasn't. Well, then my next question is, who's ready for the zombie apocalypse? Because that's coming. Well, I believe you said that.
You're fine, you're fine. I don't remember anything about it. I know you said that also.
Mr. Stenberg, can you come forward, please? Joe. Joe.
Sorry about that, my hearing aids at the office.
No problem. Listen, I don't want to keep you all waiting. Are you able to come back at 2?
Did the flowers help?
Yeah, they did. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because we have several.
That's all right. I'll be back at 2.
Yes.
All righty.
All right, thank you.
You're glad I'm after the flowers. I'm serious.
Oh, Mrs. Stenberg, you're always so awesome. Everyone, the court is going to be taking its break at noon. So if you have a plea, it needs to be done. Otherwise, you're going to have to come back this afternoon. And then we're waiting Frank Sandoval on Roland Diaz. And Vashawn, I received your text. So I'm thinking on it because I need to ask you some questions about it. Oh, I'll text you. And do you have any questions about the process? Any questions?
Oh, no, I'm just taking it all in.
Sure. You can have a seat here if you want. Okay. Sure.
So you're gonna ask for restitution?
Yes.
Sure, no problem. Yes. Awesome. So what I can tell you is sometimes we have motions to revoke. So motions to revoke, that means that they've already entered a plea and that they've been placed on probation and they've been given conditions. And so when a motion to revoke is filed, what that means is probation is saying they didn't do certain things. Maybe they didn't report, maybe they are testing positive for drugs or didn't do some of the classes that are ordered. So the thing about motions to revoke that you have to remember is when they have allegations in the motion saying that somebody didn't report, the burden of proof is not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It's the civil burden, preponderance. Yes. And then when people are on deferred adjudication, if it's found to be true, they're subject to the full range of punishment. And if they're on regular probation or community supervision, their punishment range is limited to whatever the plea agreement is. So sometimes you'll hear me say, I'm sentencing you to 5 years in prison, probated and suspended for 6 years. What that means if they were to mess up or pick up any new things, potentially, but they're capped at whatever that sentence was. Like if it's 5 years, they're capped at 5 years. If it's 4 years, they're capped at 4 years. No. But if somebody is on deferred adjudication, let's say you have somebody on deferred adjudication for a robbery case. Range of punishment for robbery is up to 20 years prison. So if they were to violate their conditions on that robbery case and I were to find it true, they could potentially go to prison for 20 years. But let's say you have somebody on probation for robbery and it's regular probation or just community supervision. And let's say the sentence was 5 years suspended for 6 years. If it were found true, the most time that I could give them if I wanted to revoke them would be 5 years. I wouldn't be able to do the full 20. Yeah. So that usually what happens. And then right now, some people are doing plea bargain agreements. And this is what people don't understand about plea bargain agreements. When people enter into plea bargain agreements, the defendant has waived their right to remain silent. So they can't say, well, I don't want to talk about this case. You've already waived it. So that's usually what happens. A lot of times cases actually end in plea bargain agreements and not jury trials. But I always do a plea deadline date so that everyone will know where they stand, because I believe communication is key. So if someone who's accused comes in and I say your plea deadline date is October 20th or whatever, just some date, they know that when they come in on October 20th, they need to let the court, are you accepting the plea? Are you not accepting the plea? And when I give that time frame, maybe the state wants to do a counter offer that will give them a chance to negotiate off docket. And then usually, believe it or not, sometimes people who are in their 50s, they say, I want to talk to my family. I want to talk to this person. Sometimes they want to talk to other people to see if it's a good deal.
Yeah.
So that happens a lot. And that's why I give them plea deadline dates. And think about it, because I never want anyone to feel pressured to enter a plea. And then when you tell somebody, no, it's today only. I've only done that a couple of times maybe. And that is because a case is extremely old and they've already had time to consider, because maybe the state offered the plea bargain agreement 6 months ago and it's the same plea. Yeah. And then you'll see people who come over from the jail, they're in different colored uniforms, and each of those uniforms signifies something different. Males are usually in the orange uniforms, females are in blue. When somebody's in red, that's either a gang member or they're on admin seg or somebody, or sometimes if they're charged with capital murder or something like that, or if people think they're a escape risk. The trustees are usually in a khaki color or gray. The females who are pregnant are usually in yellow or either yellow with white stripes. So each one of the uniforms has a significance with the color. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, they are. Yes. Mhm. Oh, that is so true. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Oh, yeah. Well, whenever they want to come over and see what happens, they can. Mhm. Awesome. Mhm. Oh, welcome. Oh, I think you're going to be fabulous. You know, I had some people who were in my law class, they're doing a second career, whatever. I had nurses. There were some people in my class who were 60, 70. They were awesome students. I always think every generation can bring some discussion to the class, so it's great. Mhm. 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 Oh, yes. Yeah.
Michelle, I have.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. No. But no, I will tell you, that's great. Because no. All right. Just one second. I'm sorry. Who's here on Crystal Barajas? Okay. So now we're going to do a plea. And she has 3 cases, but it appears they're only pleading on 1. Yeah. Yes. So she has a evading arrest detention with a vehicle. That's a 3rd degree, a theft, 2,500 to 30,000, and unauthorized use. So this is probably all out of the same occurrence. Yes. All right. Crystal Barajas, if you can come down, please. Court is calling 2023 CR 5606, State of Texas versus Crystal Marie Barajas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Patrick Bonds for the defense.
And are you Crystal Barajas?
Yes.
Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
Barajas.
All right. I can't roll my R's. I'm sorry. I'm working on that. All right, counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Excuse me, Mr. Chumley, if you all can move down to that end. Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we're going to obey the repeater enhancement allegation.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Barajas, I'm going to show you. So you're just waiving that and continuing on the indictment as presented, other than that?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention, and vehicle? That's a 3rd degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, The fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Barajas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Did you understand, according to the plea, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 3 years in the prison,
Yes, ma'am.
that they are taking in consideration 2023 CR 5605, 5494, JN numbers 2128064, 2128065. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is true.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offer states exhibit 1 and all that happens. No objection, Your Honor.
And state, you may continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm sorry, state on this case, is there any restitution? Because I know there is a theft of the vehicle that you all are taking in consideration. Okay.
In his other one,
Okay. All right. So you're not asking for restitution? All right. Then the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2023 CR 5605, 2023 CR 5494, JN number 2128064, 2128065. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
And did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You are before me as a repeater. If you come back to anybody's felony court with a felony case, Depending on what the felony is, your minimum is going to be 25 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you've got to make a decision on what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Do you want to be in and out of prison? Do you want to be coming in and out of in a blue uniform? Or do you want to change your life? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What name is that on your chest?
My father,
Okay.
he passed away.
All right. So did you love your father?
Yeah.
All right. So I say that because you need to start doing things to make him proud of you and change your life. All right. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Your Honor. May we be excused?
Yes. So sometimes the offer is, sometimes it's prison offers. And usually I normally go along with plea bargain agreements because sometimes the state and the defense may know something that I don't know. Sometimes complainants don't want to come forward and the defense knows that complainants are not going to come to testify. The state knows complainants are not going to testify, but they come to an agreement about something. All right. Yes. Are you already on Bernal?
Yes, Judge.
Yes. Bernal, come forward.
Judge, we were looking at the video there, we didn't have the opportunity to listen to the sound, so I'm
Okay.
not sure on the motion yet, but it says for a plea deadline.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On Bernal, if I can have a 3-week reset for a plea deadline date.
And if we decide to either do the motion or do a plea, do we notify Norma before that date?
Yes.
or
How
just-
many witnesses would you all expect for this? All right, Ms. Ferguson, let's do this. They say it's going to be 2 witnesses. Let's do it as a plea deadline date and a motion to suppress. All right, so we're going to come back on October 26th. That will be your plea deadline date and also the motion to suppress.
Understood, Judge.
All right, after you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Janelle Garza. All right, has a warrant, last time she had a warrant, and counsel, you're on this side. So Deputy Laura, does she have a warrant or no?
No, Judge, she was in custody and when she retained me and she's since bonded out.
Okay. All right, so have you received all the discovery?
We haven't, Judge, we're in agreement with the state on a 30-day reset. They need to give us some discovery as to restitution and additional information in regards to the vehicle and from the Union B.
So Judge, defense brought it to our attention, there was a case where the vehicle in question was involved at a later date. What I'm gonna do is link up the e-discovery in that case and sync it up to this one to where it should all transfer over the next couple days. We're also reaching out to the complainant in regards to restitution. They did give us a prior figure, but it's one that I just had a few questions for them on.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, give them a 40-day reset. You all need to confer off docket. So at that time, either you're gonna plea or either it's going to jury trial. And when I say going to jury trial, that means it'll be going to jury trial the next day. You understand? All right.
Thank you, Judge.
November 6th.
All right, November 6th.
Judge requested 40 days. I'm sorry. I'm just concerned that we're gonna be able to hit that deadline. I think 40.
Oh,
days
they'll be able to hit that deadline.
in 30 days.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, if you'll sign the reset form.
Yes, Judge.
Yes.
I'm sorry. When are we coming back? November 6th for a plea deadline.
And jury trial. All right, who is here on Aaron Alvarado? All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 5315, State of Texas versus Aaron Alexander Alvarado. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis, thanks to the state of Texas.
Defense? And are you Aaron Alvarado?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Alvarado, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor. And
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, the state will proceed only on count one, waive and abandon count number two.
Any objection? Off the record for a moment. Ms. Ferguson, I need a PSI date. All right. All right, Mr. Alvarado, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand in count one, you're charged with assault, family choking, strangulation? That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court doesn't have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Sure.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you into this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to plea, state is proceeding on count one. Punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 5 years in the prison. The state is silent on your recommendation. I'm sorry, the state will make no recommendations and they're silent on your applications. They will take in consideration NIMAG number 691315. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. And I'm sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. Because it's not a part of the plea bargain agreement. But do you understand if the court finds that this is a family domestic violence case, there will be an affirmative finding of family violence?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, sir.
Knowing that, do you still wish to continue with the plea?
I'm sorry.
Knowing that, do you still wish to continue with the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right. Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the plea?
Your Honor, so you offer State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right. And state, have you been in contact with the complainant?
On this one,
Yes.
she's incarcerated at the moment.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Alvarado, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. We will come back on November 13th. At that time, I'll make a decision on your application based upon the evidence that's presented to me and based upon the PSI report. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, does he need a TAP evaluation?
I would imagine that would be.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any mental health issues?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
All right. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health issues?
No,
Have you ever been on any type of mental health medication?
yes, ma'am, I have.
All right. So what I'm going to request is a PSI, TAP evaluation, and a MIC. Is there anything else? So they're going to come see you for the mental health evaluation, TAP evaluation, and a PSI report. Do you understand? All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing further on.
All right. We'll see you back then. Thank you. And Bridget, is there a chance that he's going to bond out?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
In custody for 7 months.
All right. Thank you. All righty. Yeah. Yes. It's a lot. It happens a lot. Yes. Okay. Oh, this one is done. Yes. All right. 3 more. All right. So I'm being told we have some pleas, so I'll take those up. And then anything else is going to have to come back this afternoon. Then, of course, one staple in court is the hand sanitizer, because we have so much paperwork that we're dealing with and exchange hands so much. And my mom sometime will call me. She's like, you touch your eye and you touch paperwork. I'm like, I'm working on it, Mom. Yeah. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, it isn't. And a lot of times it's hurry up and wait, because sometimes attorneys have cases in felony courts. And when I was a defense attorney, you would have this idea where you figure out your schedule and you say, oh, I'm going to go to this court first because it's going to be short. Whenever you do that, you know what ends up happening? Either your client comes late, or either it's not as short as you think it was. And by the time you're sitting there for 45 minutes, you're saying, should I really go to the other court, or I've lost my play? I'm just going to stay here and do it. Then you look up and it's 12.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see.
Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times it's attorneys talking to each other and negotiating.
Yeah.
But they changed the will system where when I first started practicing, you get your bar license, you can come to court and try a murder case. Somebody would appoint you to a murder or appoint you to whatever, and you tried. And honestly, I will tell you, students who are brand new, licensed, and they just got out, those are some of the best attorneys. It's sort of like when you first get your driver's license, you have your hand on that steering wheel the way it's supposed to be. But then after you get older, you're like, I can just drive with one hand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it happens. But now, in order to be in felony court, you must have had so many trials before they will even appoint you to a felony case. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. And then I remember when I first started practicing, and you do so many cases, then you forget to stop telling your clients certain things. For example, you would have somebody in misdemeanor court, and then they would say, they would be all nervous, and then you'd have to tell them, oh, you're not going to jail, you're not going to prison. And that even happens sometime in felony court where you have to tell them, you're not going to prison. And you forget to tell them that. Because when you're in felony court, that's the first thing you probably think. And then when you start practicing, you're going to discover that sometimes in felony courts, you will have 18-year-old and 19-year-olds, and they will bring their parents with them. And their parents want to know everything that's going on, but there's attorney-client confidentiality. Yeah. Mhm. But it happens. All right, Norma, you have any update on Frank Sandoval? Do not say county court. Do not say impact county court. Okay. All right, let me see the file on Roland Diaz. Just, all right, let's put him then this afternoon at 2. And Deputy Laura, can you hold on to Roland Diaz?
Yes, Judge.
And then we're doing the paperwork for Mr. DeLeon. Okay. And then Mr. Chomley, is that a plea, Mr. Chomley?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm the clerk. Sorry.
And then we have Gilbert Pruitt with Larry Meadows. All right. Francisco Martinez. And this is going to be interesting. And the reason why it's going to be interesting is because they are pleading to more than one case. And things tend to get dicey when that happens. And they're actually pleading to 3 cases. So we're going to try to make this happen. Let me just put things in order. And are there any applications in either of these cases?
No, you are.
That's set. Just give me one moment. All right, I don't think I have the discovery acknowledgement in the 1298 case.
There should be 3 discovery acknowledgements for 3 different cause numbers.
All right, let me see what's going on. 7-2. Okay, I have it in 079.
And then one has 2 counts.
Oh, I have that one. All right, the one that I'm missing, let me see if it's in here. It's been previously filed. Okay. Diana, it's 3 cases. Court is calling 2023 CR 1298, 2023 CR 0792, and 2023 CR 1297. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brittany Mitchell and Stacy Harrington for the state.
for the defense?
Michael DeLeon for Mr. Martinez.
And are you Mr. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, have you received all of the discovery? And did you review that discovery with your client?
I have, Your Honor. We have reviewed all those documents and I believe discovery is in compliance.
All right. No problem. In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Thank you. And cause number 1, 2, well, in each of the cause numbers, did you review the documents entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney, and did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State in cause number 1, 2, the cause number ending in 1298, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are proceeding on 2 of the 7 counts. That would be count 5 and count 7. And waiving the remaining. And they're both to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Any objections? And then state in the cause number ending in 0792, are you proceeding on the indictments as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then in cause number 2023 CR 1297, state, do you have a motion with regards to the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor, we did file a motion to amend the indictment.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
And we are proceeding on the indictment as amended.
All right, Mr. Martinez, are you aware that the amendment that the state is making is a substantive change to the indictment? That you have time for your counsel to prepare for trial. Did you understand that? All right, you understand the change that the state is making to the indictment?
There's a change, I didn't, yes, ma'am.
They say your counsel is saying there was a correction of the typographical error. Did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you still wish to proceed on the plea in that case? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, then in each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in cause number 2023 CR 1298? The state is proceeding on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The range of punishment in each of those counts is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the cause number ending in 2023 CR 0792, the state is proceeding in 2 counts. Count 1 is a delivery of a controlled substance to a minor. The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. And they're also proceeding in count 2 with prostitution, solicitation to a person under 18. The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. And in cause number 2023 CR 1297, they're proceeding on sexual assault of a child. That's a 2nd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And each of the cause numbers, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in each cause number, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights in each of these cause numbers and enter into a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, do you believe that your client has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offenses?
Yes, I do.
And has he been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, we've had extensive discussions.
Mr. Martinez, in each of the cause numbers, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the pleas?
No,
Has anyone promised you anything other than the pleas?
no,
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
yes, no,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes,
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. And each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review those pages with your attorney? Did you understand them? All right. And each of the cause numbers, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. And cause number 2023 CR 0792, count 1, there's a fine of $2,000. And cause number 2023 CR 1297. There is to be compliance with Chapter 62 registration and no contact with the complainant. And cause number 2023 CR 0792. The cause numbers will run concurrently. And you're to comply with registration. And cause number 0792, the counts are to run concurrently. Is it the party's intention that these cause numbers are to run concurrently?
Yes.
Yes.
And in cause number 2023 CR 1298, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And each count, there's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Rocio Guardo, Janisa, Janysha Lee, Lorena Chavez, Miguel Guardo, Rigoberto Carrizales, Gabriela Carrizales, and Marco De La Fuente. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. In each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
There are no motions, Your Honor.
Then in cause number 2023 CR 1298, how do you plead to count 5, guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest,
How do you plead to count 7, guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
contest,
And cause number 2023 CR 1297, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest,
And cause number 2023 CR 0792, how do you plead to count 1, guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest,
Count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest,
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Your Honor, we offer State's Exhibit number 1 and all attachments for each respective case.
Any objections?
No objection. We've, my client and I have reviewed those documents and we have no objection.
All right. Mr. Martinez, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes,
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. State in each of the cause numbers, have the complainants been notified of the pleas?
They have, Judge, except for 0792, the complainant is in juvenile detention. We have reached out to her mother, but got no response. But the other complainants have been notified for the other 2 cause numbers. This is also 3 different offense states, just to let the judge know.
Okay. All right, in cause number 2023 CR 1298, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of count 5 and count 7, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing in that cause number?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We ask the court to honor the 8-year deferred, 8-year agreement, Your Honor. You know.
Okay. You shocked her.
Me too.
All right. And that cause number, the court will sentence you to 8 years in count 1 and count 7. Both counts will run concurrent. This will run concurrent with cause numbers 2023 CR 1297 and 2023 CR 0792. And each cause number, there's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. With regards to the no harmful or injurious contact with these persons, have you all spoken to the persons and they want to have contact?
They are, as a whole, not cooperative.
All right, Mr. DeLeon, your agreement is no harmful or injurious contact. In this court, I don't allow for contact unless the complainants come in and say they want contact. I will be willing to do no in-person contact. Will that nullify your agreement?
No, Your Honor, that'll be fine.
All right, so there's to be no in-person contact. And what that means is that you can speak to them on the phone. They can write you letters. If they want to have contact with you at the prison, they'll need to come in. You understand?
Yes.
So there's to be no in-person contact with Rocio Guayardo, Janisha Lee, Lorena Chavez, Miguel Guayardo, Rigoberto Carrizales, and Marco De La Fuente. And I'll give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing under that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
Just so we're clear on the record, I believe Mr. Martinez has 250 days in Bear County Jail.
All right. And in that cause number, I'm going to show you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Mr. DeLeon, did you have a chance to review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next we're going to proceed in cause number 2023 CR 1297.
And Judge, just momentarily, I think we're going to do a motion to destroy the weapon on the assault of the weapon case.
All right.
So we're working that up right now.
All right, thank you. You understand that the weapon is going to be destroyed in the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon case?
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and cause number CR 231297, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Court will sentence you to 8 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. And there should be Chapter 62 compliance. No contact with the complainant. This is to run concurrent with 2023 CR 0792. And what was that last cause number? Yes. And this will run concurrent with 2023 CR 1298. Is there anything else on that case with regards to sentencing from either side?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, next we're going to proceed with 2023 CR 1297. I'm sorry. 2023 CR 0792. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And the court will find you guilty of count 1 and guilty of count 2. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right.
If I could just have this mission to destroy.
Sure. Court will sentence you in count 1 to 8 years TDC. This is to run concurrent with count 2, which is 8 years TDC. Give you credit for any time served. There's to be a $2,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. And that $2,000 fine is in count 1. This is to run concurrent with 2023 CR 1298, 2023 CR 1297. And in count 2, there's to be Chapter 62 registration. And there's to be no contact with the complainant. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
Just turned 20 today.
All right, so you're 20. 8 years is a long time. I know that anytime you're in custody, it's a long time because you don't have your freedom. But you need to spend this time trying to better yourself. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you don't have your GED, you can actually get a GED at the prison. If you don't have your college degree, guess what? You can still get a college degree at the prison. So do not go to prison and become institutionalized. Go to prison and try to better yourself. If you have drug issues, which it appears you do, go to the prison, get help with your drug issues. If you do not change your life, when you come out of prison, because at some point you're going to come out of prison, you're going to find yourself right back at prison. And you need to remember, when you come out of prison, the first thing that you do, if you're not on parole, if you end up doing the entire 8 years, you need to register. Because if you do not register, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have another case and it's going to be failure to register. That registration is a lifetime registration. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do better. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. You're welcome. Have a great one. Oh, I signed the motion for y'all, correct?
The motion to destroy.
Yes.
I handed it to you.
Okay, I believe I signed it. Can you check and make sure I signed the motion to destroy?
Okay, and I'll come get a copy so I can get that over to the
Sure.
detective. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you want to, they'll make a copy for you in the back.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Thank you.
Maybe excuse Judge.
Yes, you may be excused. Gilbert Pruitt.
I got it. Mr. Mouse is talking. Oh, I guess I'll come after lunch.
Oh, I believe there's a,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
All right, what is happening with Mr. Pruitt?
Judge, he was evaluated for competency. He was found competent.
Mhm.
We have an offer. He'd like a short recess to consider it.
All right, how old are you?
42 minutes.
All right, we're going to bring you back tomorrow. That's your plea deadline date. Okay? All right, thank you.
Judge, 9.
9. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Orlando Cuevas. Where's his attorney? Oh, hi, there you are.
I had to sit on something soft for a minute.
No problem. All right, so he has 2 cases.
Decide.
You're on that side and he's in the center. All right, court is calling 2023 CR 4421 and 2023 CR 4422, State of Texas versus Orlando Cuevas. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Defense?
Dwight Chumley for the defense.
Are you Mr. Cuevas?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in each of these cause numbers and did you review them with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. If you could, Mr. Chumley, if you could sign that.
Oh, there's an extra one. That's right.
And each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment, Mr. Cuevas. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State and cause number ending in 4421. Are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are waiving the repeater, but otherwise proceeding.
No objections.
And state and cause number ending in 4422. Are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we are waiving count 1 and proceeding on count 2 and waiving the repeater.
Any objection?
No objections.
Thank you. All right, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Those are second-degree felonies. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a,
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
yes,
And I just realized I probably didn't correct the paperwork. On 2023 CR 4422, count 2 is actually the felon in possession.
no problem. If you all will initial. All right, and in cause number ending in 4422, their state is proceeding on the offense that's felon in possession of a weapon. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state in either of these cause numbers, court doesn't have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in each of the cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, ma'am, I believe he was.
Mr. Cuevas, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter these pleas?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promise you anything other than the pleas? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court, in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled plea bargain agreement. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And cause number 2023 CR 4421. State is asking that your punishment be assessed at 2 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 4422. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And the cause number ending in 4422, they're asking that your punishment be assessed at 4 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 4422. Did you understand that to be the pleas?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes. Oh,
Yes. Defense?
yes.
I looked at you when I said
I had a
that.
flashback. I had a flashback.
All right. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then in cause number 2023 CR 4422, how do you plead to count two? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
And in cause number ending in 4421, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence.
Your Honor, I have received exhibit number 1 and all attachments for each case.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, if you'll go around, you can't go through there. You're just gonna pull everything down. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you sign them in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court has reviewed both and the court has accepted both into evidence. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty in each cause number. In each cause number, the court will find you guilty. State, have you had a chance to reach out to the complainant?
Your Honor, unfortunately, one of the complainants is actually a fugitive on drug warrants and the other one is incarcerated.
All right. And cause number, well, are you ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client has been very cooperative in the investigation of this matter. He's also showed a lot of remorse. He is going to serve his time and he's going to learn from that. And I told him, what you always say is get something done while you're in there.
Yes. All right. And cause number 2023 CR 4421, the court, as previously stated, has found you guilty. Court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 4422. There's to be no contact with Mayor Marboni Marboni, Nicole Torres. And the court will give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else in that cause number with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
And then in cause number ending in 4422. Court will sentence you to 2 years. Just one moment. I'm sorry, back to cause number 4421. The court will find there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And then in cause number 4422, the court will sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time, not 2 years, I'm sorry. Court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This run concurrent with 2023 CR 4421. Do you guys want to change that? Sure. So it's 4421.
Had so many keys today, Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a busy day in
Yeah.
87.
So is there anything else with regards to sentencing in that cause number?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled trial court certification with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because these are plea bargain agreements, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because these are felony convictions, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, you better start making better decisions, because if you come back again on a felony case, you will be designated as a habitual. And what that means is on certain felonies, your minimum is 25 years in the prison. Do you understand? All right, and what is that tattoo about with the lady with the tongue sticking out?
Aztec.
Aztec? Okay,
Moana, not Moana.
no.
That's Polynesian.
All right, so do you have any children?
17-year-old son.
Don't be bringing, I know what
Oh,
the
no.
tattoos are for. Don't be bringing that around him, okay?
It's good.
All right, good luck to you.
All right.
Yes, maybe excuse. All right, are any of these, please?
The last one.
All right, this is a plea?
Yeah.
It's a cute.
What's
It's great. We're going to Disney World next year and they have a new,
Oh, on the Sunday.
thing.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about it.
So are these pleas or no?
No, those are not things, Judge, because
All right, so
I'm working on one thing. This one, you just told me to record them on.
okay, we're gonna do something different. So just give me a second. Is there another plea?
There will be one more.
All right. Yes. Mhm. Well, they're concurrent. Yes, they'll run together. Yes. But usually on cases like that, he'll probably end up serving maybe 6 if he doesn't cause any problems. Mhm. A lot of it depends on whether or not they're overcrowded at the jail or not. Mr. Cox, we're coming back at 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
but I got-
everybody needs to take a break.
Okay, I have some on your afternoon doc. Is that still on?
Yes, that's still on
Oh,
it
good,
too, unless you have to be in county court.
Well,
No.
you was about to get me for a felony court in impact
Mm-mm.
and
The class I just gave you, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, no, yeah,
and
you're here.
I told her, I said, I can't,
Look at that.
Yeah. And you know what, Mr. Cox, I realized that you told them in misdemeanor court that you had this bench trial here, but, you know.
So, but I got out of that one, so I'll be here for it.
All right, so we're gonna end up taking a break so I can give everybody at least an hour lunch break.
Okay, that's fine.
I think so.
Yes.
Oh, we are calling back. Let's see when we're calling back the co-defendant. All right.
Go back to Friday.
No, let's put it in October. Put it after the co-defendant.
Yeah.
Because then I'll know what jury trial date we're giving the co-defendant.
I get that motion to just roll.
Yeah.
Whenever you, you can even you can do this afternoon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, so potentially we have to do that.
Yes, there are two bench trials. Okay, sure. Yes, sure. Yeah. And if you want to go ahead and take your lunch break, you can. I'm just going to do a plea and then we'll be back at 2 for that. Sure. Sure. All right, no problem. All right, you're welcome. Have a great one.
So the court ever allow us to move a plea deadline, or they chiseled in stone?
Oh, they're chiseled. It's
Not in
like,
stone.
man.
Yeah, it is in stone. We can pull it up.
Oh, we're just doing the plea and then everything else is at 2. All we're doing is this plea. Then we're taking our break. And who is the attorney with the plea?
Mr. Meadows?
Okay.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Good, Gary, looking for some information on the. Okay, thank you so much. All right, and I apologize. Montgomery says I made a mistake by asking for permission. I shouldn't have. I should have just. Thank you.
And then we'll come back at 2 on Mr. Cox's client, Cameron Moore. And then we'll be back at 2 on Frank's client.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Court's calling 23 CR 6796, State of Texas versus Victor Romero Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state.
Defense?
Sorry, Mr. Meadows.
Yes. Can you speak up for the defense?
Larry Meadows for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I have.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession less than 1 gram? Penalty group 1, that's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent
Yes.
and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's a $400 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. Taking consideration 714532. There's $57 restitution for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. That there be 100 hours of community service restitution and a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, State Auburn State Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And
Yes,
did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial? A right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, how old are you?
29.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
I have 9, 4. I'm sorry, 9, 6. And I have 1 on the way and 4 and 2.
Are you in their life at all?
For 2 of them, yes, I am, ma'am. With the other parents, we have no contact.
Do you live with them or no?
No, ma'am.
All right. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I'll be negative.
All right, when's the last time you used?
No, no, sorry. Excuse me. I'm coming up positive
All right, what are you going to be positive for?
for a little bit of marijuana and some meth.
All right. So how often are you using?
from before, it was like a daily routine, but I'm trying with this opportunity, not opportunity, but with this being done today, it's gonna give me a chance to get clean and get my life back on track, honestly.
All right, are you employed?
Right now, not full time, no man.
All right, so how do you support yourself?
Guard coding, any odds and ends, any type of jobs that come up.
All right, how far did you go in school?
I got my high school diploma.
All right, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life as far as employment? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I asked myself that the other day, where I see myself in 5 years. 5 years, I see myself somewhere else where I'm not where I'm not right now. With my kids with me as well.
But I mean, what do you want to do?
What I want to do?
Support yourself
Oh,
financially.
concrete.
All right. So the shirt you're wearing, is that
Oh, no,
because you're a Spurs fan or is something else?
No type of gang relation on that.
All right, you're just a Spurs fan.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
The new
Usually it
Spurs,
says
I don't know,
Spurs on it.
but I guess more of the old Spurs.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you talking about George Gervin?
The original,
Spurs?
yeah, there is.
Okay. We used to watch those a lot in Louisiana because everybody knew George Gervin. And we would always feel so sad for him because he didn't win a championship with the people surrounding him. It's sort of like with Julius Erving, when he finally won a championship with Philadelphia 76ers. We're so happy. We're just like, you can retire now. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication, $400 fine, probated. Take in consideration 714-532, restitution of $57 for drug testing, 100 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived once he completes parenting classes, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, no unsupervised contact with minors. Once you're clean and sober, I'll change that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So you need to make sure you get clean and sober and make sure you start doing some parenting classes and then I'll change the contact order, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna do a TAP evaluation. I'm gonna want a referral to felony drug court. If you're a gang member, felony drug court is not gonna accept you. But if you're not, they'll probably accept you, okay? Just be completely honest with them and tell them you want the help. We'll do a TAP evaluation as well. If the TAP evaluation recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient. If they recommend outpatient treatment, we're gonna start with intensive. And of course, if you're accepted in felony drug court, then they will supervise your probation. And you just let me know when you graduate and I'll show up to your graduation.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll do field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation, if everything is okay after that, you can do field visits as you deem necessary. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No.
Is there anything else you need for me to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. This is a chance for you to get clean and sober. It's going to be difficult. And what people always tell me who are strong in their sobriety is you just have to take it one day at a time. You have to get up and say, I'm not going to use today. And we go to the next one. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right. We'll be back at 2 for trial, for bench trial. I think that it may end up being very short because I don't know if Mr. Cox has any witnesses and the state has rested. State, you all took that DVD disc with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Judge, because you hadn't admitted it yet.
Yes, so if I could see that so I can review it, I'll review it over the break.
Sure. I have it upstairs. I can bring it back down for you.
Okay, well, you know what? Just bring it back down by 11:45.
Yes, ma'am. Or if you're gonna be here, I can just run up and run back.
1:45.
Oh, sure, 1:45, thank you. I put an extra 1 in front of